Alrighty, welcome back to... Look at that gang just staring us down. They're ready to go. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XII. Hope you're doing well. Hope you've enjoyed Final Fantathon so far and Let's Play Final Fantasy XII so far. I certainly have. I was really excited to play through last week and start the game, and I've really enjoyed it up to this point. I'm excited to get back into it and get more of everything. Get more of the characters, get more of the gambits, start really fleshing out the characters, because so far everyone's just kind of got their OG stuff and not much is going on yet, but yeah, I'm ready to rock. Thanks to everyone who watched the first episodes, and oh god, my analog stick was drifting. Oh no. Oh, this ain't good. Why are you drifting? Fawn's looking at me like, what's wrong with your controller, man? What's wrong with your controller? Hey! Why are you making me do this? Oh, that's bad. Oh, that's really bad. What the heck? Alright, I think I fixed it. I just pushed it down really hard. So anyways, thanks to everyone who supported the first couple episodes. I read a lot of really interesting comments. One of the things that I heard a lot of that was really interesting to me is at the start of Final Fantasy XII, I talked about Zodiac Age and how great of a remaster it is, and it's a really good version to play if you want to just experience 12 without having to go through the rigmarole of the original and getting it to work and everything. And pretty much everyone agreed with that, but there were a couple people that actually talked about some of the things they don't like about Zodiac Age, and I found it really interesting. Some people said that they really enjoy the way the characters work in this game better, in terms of like the classes and stuff. In Zodiac Age, they're all kind of pigeonholed into specific classes, and you can pick whatever class you want, but once you pick it, that's their class, and then they also get a subclass. But you're stuck with just the stuff in that class. Whereas in the original version, everyone can kind of be anything, and you just kind of take them down paths that you think will be good for them via the license board. So a lot of people actually prefer that, and maybe it's like specifically for post-game, but yeah, a lot of people talked about that. And then some of the other changes they made, you know, people were talking about how some of it's good, some of it's bad. So I just found it really interesting. I just wanted to point out that, like, Zodiac Age isn't perfect. I still think, I think everyone would agree, it's a great version to play if you've never played the game before and just want to play it. But if you are, like, a fan of the original and you want to play the original again, be warned that there are, you know, a lot of changes that you may or may not like. Okay, hold on. Where am I going? I forget what we ended with last time. We were about to go on the airship, but I was doing a... Was I doing a hunt? Or did I decide... Was I doing this? Oh yeah, I was trying to figure out where these guys were. Yeah, I was doing my best. She said along the north bank of the Gizas, but they're sensitive to Humes. So... And I looked here and I never found them. So I was trying to figure out what to do to make them appear. It's probably something weird and stupid. Let's go over there again and see if we can maybe figure it out. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, this guy's here. Where are we going? Can't remember. I feel like there was something else I wanted to bring up, but I remember it'll come to me. We had a really fun week this week. We've been playing Forbidden West. We're finally almost to the end of it. And we're almost done with the Hades Platinum too, which has been an absolute blast. And God of War Ragnarok came out this week. We talked about that last week. I'm not going to be playing it on release. Just have other things I'm working on, but I will play it eventually because I'm a huge God of War fan. But I still need to finish the original before I move on to Ragnarok. But I've heard people are really, really liking it, so that's good. I mean, kind of figured. God of War is definitely Sony's baby at this point. They're protecting it. And I mean, it's been a while, too. They waited a while for the new one, too. They didn't capitalize right away. There's always one series that Sony holds on to where they try to, like, pace it and make it good and not just take advantage of it every year. Which is really nice to see because it seems like every other company, as soon as they hit gold, they milk it, you know? Like, oh, Resident Evil's good? Make one every year. Oh. What else? Really just name a franchise. Name a franchise, they probably try to make one every year for a while. It seems like they try to make one every year until people get sick of it, and then they wait a couple years, and then bring it back like it's epic. But Sony always has at least one series that they keep in high regard and try to pace it. Kind of like Mario and Zelda for Nintendo. I would say they kind of have two now. The Horizon games and God of War. And then you have Last of Us, where, like, technically they're not making a game every year, but they still milk it like crazy with shows and remasters and remakes and everything they can possibly do. So, which is a shame because I felt like Last of Us, that was what was special about it, was it was just the one experience, but you know. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. It's like, I don't blame you for making more because it is such a good game and just connects with people a lot, but I don't know. It's hard. I don't know what On was doing there. Oh, I remember the other thing I was going to say. Somebody brought up Mont Blanc and how he's actually a recurring character in the Ivalice games. And he started in Tactics Advance, I think. So, and Tactics Advance came out in 2006. This game came out in 2008, I believe. So, I believe he was first in that game, and then, so he was supposed to be like if you played Tactics Advance, then you would see him in this game and be like, oh my god, it's you. So that's kind of a cool thing. I missed out on that because I never played Tactics Advance. Also, I don't actually know the whole thing with the Ivalice games. There are a lot of people that follow the Ivalice games specifically, like that world is what they've really attached to with Final Fantasy. And I don't really know that much about it. I would love to learn more. Like, first of all, what is the first Ivalice game? Does anyone know? Like, what game actually started Ivalice in particular? Was it just OG Tactics? PS1 Tactics? And then Tactics Advance, and then this one was the first? That's so weird. So, like, you have a spin-off game that creates a new world, and then a sequel to that spin-off game, which stays in the same world, and then Vagrant Story 2, which is not even a Final Fantasy, you know, quote-unquote. So, like, a spin-off game and a side game are just a different series entirely. And then the next mainline Final Fantasy game takes the world from those games? Like, that's pretty weird when you think about it. like, now it's not as weird, because Ivalice kind of has its own fan base, but back then, it was just a world and a side game, and they decided to make that the world of the next main game. That's pretty crazy. I kind of wonder if it was just because people love tactics so much that they wanted to, like, keep that going. Because 11 was obviously really divisive. So maybe they thought, like, let's take this world that we know fans of the series like and, you know, expand on that. That's really interesting. And then, so you have, yeah, Vagrant Story and the Tactics series is all Ivalice, and then 12 is Ivalice, and then obviously 12's PSP game is also Ivalice. And then, where does it go from there? Is it, like, is it all, like, side games from there? Vagrant Wings was the PSP game. Yeah, apparently there's like a Final Fantasy XIV event. I mean, I kind of like, I include that, but I also don't, because like, that's almost like saying Ivalice is in one of the mobile games or something. It's like, the point of those games is to kind of appreciate all of Final Fantasy, so it's more of like a nod to it, or just a, it's there, but, you know. I mean, I don't know, whatever. You can include it if you want, but... Are there any other main games that are Ivalice? Or is it just Tactics, Vagrant Story, and 12? Oh, I thought there was more. She said that the kids might know some stuff, but none of the kids say anything. When she originally gave us the thing, she was like, the kids might know more. They don't know anything. Kids are losers. They don't know crap. Alright, I might need some help. I might need like a hint. Because I don't have no idea how to get these guys to appear, unless it's just random. It's either random, or like it has to be raining, or it's something stupid. If you can think of a good hint, go ahead. But, yeah, I really like the idea of having, like, these sub-worlds that you can kind of grab onto. And I think what's really cool about having Ivalice as, like, this separate thing is, like, if you're not a huge Final Fantasy fan, but you're a fan of 12, you can kind of look at that and be like, oh, well, this is an Ivalice game. Maybe I should try some of the other Final Fantasy Ivalice games, and then that might get you into Tactics, you know? Just because, you know, it happens in the same world. So I think that's a cool way to, like, connect some of the games kind of unofficially. So I always like that idea. And I like how Ivalice has its own, like, look and feel, and, like, the Moogles are the bunny Moogles, and, like, we still have Moogles, but it's a special Ivalice-style Moogle. Like, I can definitely appreciate that. I can see why a lot of people specifically like Ivalice. Empty zones. Okay, so perhaps it's just kill everything in the zone, leave and come back or something? I wonder if I have to kill the bunnies. Because there were some bunnies in here. I really like the hunt system. Like I said, it's probably my favorite thing in this game, but some of the hunts are pretty whack. Like, some of the hints you're given are pretty whack. I said before, like, there's a couple, one in particular I remember hating as a kid. But I really love the general idea of it. I think it's really cool. This is the North Banks, right? This is not the North Banks. I'm wasting my time. Yeah, some of them you straight up just have to know, which is kind of lame. I swear, sometimes stuff like this is designed specifically to sell guidebooks. You know, like the Zodiac Spear. I didn't really talk about the Zodiac Spear any last week. I just said that I'm doing a casual playthrough, so I won't be getting it. But for those of you that don't know, the way the Zodiac Age, or the way the Zodiac Spear works in this game, from what I remember, is that there's a bunch of chests throughout the game you have to not pick up. And then at the end, like way later, you can pick up a chest with the Zodiac Spear. Which is just like, that is straight guidebook bait. Like, there's no way, there's no way someone's just gonna be like, I'm gonna not pick up this chest, this chest, this chest, and this chest. So, yeah, I've always thought that was just you know, there's puzzles that are, like, really bizarre. So that, and, you know, here's the thing. I talk a lot about puzzles and how they should have some kind of clue that will help you figure it out. Even if it's really difficult, there should at least be something pointing towards it, some kind of in-game hint. There should never be something that, like, you just straight up have to look up. Like, that's just bad game design, in my opinion. But I do want to play devil's advocate and say that, like, a lot of these older games, in this game, at this point, like, the internet was big enough to where maybe it doesn't apply to this game. But some old games, like, you know, the original Legend of Zelda and stuff, sometimes the developers wanted to put in puzzles that were so difficult to find that only a couple people would accidentally run into them in order to specifically, like, push players to share their experiences. Like, the whole idea with the original Legend of Zelda was that, like, out of a bus of kids, probably one kid on that bus accidentally figured out where Dungeon 6 was. And the hope was that you would ask that kid about Dungeon 6, and everyone would talk about Legend of Zelda on the bus, and then, you know, it would just spread awareness of the game. So, like, sometimes puzzles are super cryptic on purpose, in the hopes that it builds a community around the game. So although I would argue that it's bad game design, that I can't figure something out on my own and I legitimately need help from some source, you know, there is the argument that, you know, sometimes game developers just want to kind of create a community around their game in order to figure stuff out and not just make everything available on your own. So, and you know, these hunts kind of feel like that sometimes, where out of all my friends, I'm sure somebody would have accidentally figured this out. But for me to figure it out on my own might be really difficult. And, you know, could be buy the guide trap. It could be... oh, yep, we did it. Nice. Now, here's the real question. Can I even beat these things? Because this... oh, here comes that boy. Yeah, he hurts. He hurts real bad. Oh my god, he just quad hit Fran. Did you see that? Like, we were doing fine until he quad hit Fran. Oh my god. That was terrifying. Alright, well, we know how to do it now. That's good. I kind of figured these hunts were above my pay grade at the moment, because they're like the next section of hunts. But I wanted to at least figure it out. He bravely ran away. What's the phrase about living to fight another day? Yo, Sephry, thank you for the 39 months. Appreciate it. The other thing that happened this week is that the new Sonic game came out, Sonic Frontiers. No spoilers, because I haven't played it yet. But we're thinking about playing it later today, because I really like playing games that are like kind of middle of the road, where a lot of my friends are like, I'm thinking about buying it, but I don't really know if I want to buy it or not. I like to kind of use that opportunity to use my stream and play it so that you guys can get a better idea of if you want to spend your money on it or not. And Sonic Frontiers definitely seems like that type of game. It's very middle of the road. Some people, like the majority are saying it's at least good, but worth the full price on release is mostly the question, like, because it's definitely not getting rave reviews. So yeah, I'm kind of curious just to try it and give people a better idea of if they want to buy it or not. So we might be doing that later. Yeah, I'm seeing like 7 out of 10s across the board. But that's the thing, it's a Sonic game, so like, to a Sonic fan, is it a 10 out of 10 or a 0 out of 10? Because usually that's how Sonic games go for Sonic fans. It's either spitting on the image of Sonic or it's amazing. So, guess we'll see. Maybe there's like 2 ways to do it, Gogamesh. Maybe you can do like the sneak thing also. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, in general, I'm just happy to see a Sonic game do decent because of how bad it's been for so long, especially for Sonic fans. It feels bad. We were talking just before we started recording about the difference between Sonic and Mario. Because I grew up with Sonic 2, and I grew up with Sonic Adventure Battle 2. Or 2 Battle. And I love those 2 games, and because of that, I love Sonic. But I wouldn't even call myself really a Sonic game fan. I wouldn't really call myself like a huge Sonic fan. I listen to Sonic music extremely common. Like, I love Sonic music. Always been a huge fan of Sonic music. And I even grew up playing a bunch of Sonic Flash games and watching a bunch of Sonic Flash movies, like with the creepypasta movies of the early 2000s and the old Sonic vs. Mario Super Saiyan battles, and I mean, you name it. It was there, and I probably watched it back in the glory days of Flash. But, like, I never even played Sonic 3, which is supposed to be the best one. Sonic 1, I think, is kind of outdated and not great to play nowadays. Like, it's great to play just to say, hey, it's Sonic, but, like, the actual game is not aged well. I still like playing through Sonic 2, but it's not like I do it very often. And Sonic Adventure Battle 2, I have really fond memories of, but I don't really play it. I haven't played it in a very long time. So, and then everything after that has been bad, or I haven't enjoyed, save for Sonic Mania, which is probably the greatest Sonic game ever made. That Sonic Mania is incredible. But, you know, it's hard to say, like, I'm a huge Sonic fan, when really I don't play the games much. Like, I like Sonic 2. I like my Sonic games. And that's about it. So, but it's interesting, like, it's interesting to look at the differences between Sonic and Mario. We were talking about this before. So, like, Sonic didn't really get popular because of the games. Sonic got popular because of like meme culture and the fan base, which grew huge, and Sega constantly refreshing Sonic into different things that some people liked and some people liked to meme on. And even like Sonic 06, I would say, went pretty far in making Sonic popular to the general masses because of how bad it was and all the videos that came out about it and everything else. And so, like, the fact that there's a Sonic movie and a lot of people watched it and enjoyed it is mostly because Sonic is, like, this general known video game character. And the fact that he was, like, in Wreck-It Ralph and stuff, too. It's not really specifically because of the games. I would say that, like, a huge majority of people that know Sonic probably have played one of his games, if not none of his games, right? Whereas Mario's the opposite. The reason Mario is popular is because specifically of his video games. Because specifically, almost everyone that's ever touched a video game has played a Mario game at some point, whether it be the original Mario, Mario Party, Mario Kart, all the games that were specifically designed for people that don't even play video games to play once, probably a Mario game. So the fact that a Mario movie is coming out now isn't specifically because of the character. It's because, or, you know, like, Mario didn't get popular because of pop culture. He got popular, specifically because everyone's played a Mario game. So it's cool to look at the differences, you know? Like, it's cool to look at the differences where Mario's popular because of the games, and Sonic, not really. Sonic was more of a culture thing. Sonic was more of a everything that came after the games, whether it be the Flash animations or the fan art or the pretty much all the fan stuff, as well as the bad games that came after stuff. So pretty interesting. It's interesting to see the difference. Feels responsible for what has happened to your friend. Do not think he is in the habit of doing favors. You're saying he's a jerk? Mean thing to say. I was thinking, at the end of the day, last week, I don't actually know the relationship between Fran and Balthair. And I'm not sure if they tell you later, or I'm supposed to know. It's kind of interesting. Like, I think it's one of those things, yeah, I think it's one of those things where, like, you don't need to. I always thought they were just partners. Like, partners in crime. Like specifically, like, almost like a regular Final Fantasy party, where, like, they're a team. I think team is probably a good word. But there was something that they said, something that Balthair said last week that made me think otherwise. I think it was when they fell in the pit, and he was like, he said something about Fran, and it made me think, like, wait, are they actually a couple? But I think it's one of those things where you're kind of supposed to not know, and that's what makes it more interesting. I've changed my mind. Where's Balthair? Shouldn't I talk to him? Well, of course. Let's not even talk about ship culture. I'll be here all day. Bjerba's on the sky continent of Dorstonus, in the Magicite mine we're looking for is in Bjerba. We're going to save the girl. We start there. You ready to leave? Right. You do realize that once you've left, you may not see Ravenaster for a while. Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, we got into ship culture before, and I don't want to go there again. we went down that rabbit hole until we got to Cloud and the Buster Sword, and I was like, all right, I'm out. That's it for me. I'm willing to go down the rabbit hole, but once we get that far down, I'm getting out. I'm like, I'm like Dorothy, I'm ready to go home. We make for the losing minds of Azurba. Seems I took on more baggage and Rabanastre than I'd planned. Well, let's save your girl and be done with it. Come on. I'm like Alice. I'm ready to get out of the hole. Ready to get out of the rabbit hole.
Whoa. This is the Strahl.
The Strahl. Gotta be one of the coolest airships, right?
She airship enough for you?
I feel like the Strahl is pretty memorable. I remember the name, if nothing else.
You really are a sky pirate.
Well, the headhunters seem to think so. What's a good word? Is she ready?
So is she armed? How fast is she? Could she take the Ifrit?
I suppose I could tell you, but... Wouldn't you rather see for yourself?
Yeah.
The fact that he has a crew of Moogles just makes it the best thing ever.
Fran, our course.
The shortest way, Silvador Stonis.
How flies, Boucherba?
Oh, she's free as can be, for now. The Empire took notice when they announced the princess's unfortunate suicide and your untimely execution.
If it becomes known that I'm alive, the Marquis will lose their favor.
I try to steer clear of such things. Right, it's time to fly. And no wagging tongues or you'll like to bite them off.
I'm coming, Penelope.
You want to put on your seatbelt? What's disappointing? That I'm not playing like 20,000 hours of Final Fantasy XIV. I will, if I like Final Fantasy XIV, I will play more of it. It's just for Fantathon, it needs to be a length that's doable for a Let's Play. Keep in mind, I'm a one-man crew here. I edit everything myself. So I cannot do 500 episodes of 14.
Feeding, yes? I have, my brother. She eats well. See that she does. We need her alive. Balthier's bait must be fresh.
I keep trying to tell you. I barely even know who Balthier is.
My
She's got a point.
A message come from Rabanastre. The Strahl, she set sail. She makes straight for the sky city of the Gerba. Barely know, was it? Yet Alatrace goes bounding off for you. Tell me, how could that be?
That's what I'd like to know. I just met him that one time and that's
Does
it.
that tongue never stop? What if we plucked it from your head? As for you, we need Balthier alive. His corpse fetches but half the bounty. A tender beaten, my specialty.
There's no fun for it if we can't tease out a scream or two.
See you, Xeno. Thanks for hanging out. Her eyes look like really washed out. That's weird.
Where are you?
Yo, Project, thank you so much for the 5 months. And Aura, they give the gifted sub as well. Thank you, guys. This world seems so cool, it makes me sad we can't actually fly around it. Imagine being able to, like, fly around in a world map that looked like that.
Easy.
No good, he's not here. Keep searching. This way.
You're a dead man. Don't forget it. And no names.
Of course.
No names, guys, remember. No one is going to be yelling any names anytime soon. It did kind of look like the Chocobo Air Garden. Guys, no names. You're blowing it. You're blowing our cover. I was going AAA.
The Lusu mines are just up ahead. Though, I do hear there's not much left there these days.
You're on your way to the mines?
Oh, great.
Then please allow me to accompany you. I've an errand to attend to there.
What manner of errand?
What errand? I might ask the same of you.
You started this conversation.
Right. Come on then.
What?
Excellent.
Do me a favor and stay where I can keep my eye on you. Should be less trouble that way.
Wait.
For us both.
So what's your name?
Oh, I'm Lamont.
Don't worry. I don't know what's in that mine, Lamont, but you're in good hands.
This conversation.
Right, Bosch?
What is this conversation? I was so confused. Like, okay, maybe Balthair like knows who he is, and I'm forgetting that. But like, a kid walks up to you and says, "I want to come with you to the mines," and you say, "Why do you want to go to the mines?" And he says, "I could ask you the same thing." That's not how that conversation works. Like he asked you to go with you. Like how does that work? Is this kid like a master manipulator where you could just say, "No, you," and we're like, "Oh, he got us." Like what kind of conversation is that? Sure, there's got to be more of it going on in the back. If there isn't, that was the stupidest thing ever. They must know who he is. Because otherwise, like that, there's no way. And there's no way that Balthair would just be like, "Okay, you can come with us." What a strange conversation. Yeah, and then Vaughn is just like, "Right, Bosch?" And then they looked at him like, "Why did you say his name?" And then he just like smiled. Like, what was that? Classic Jedi mind trick. That was just so weird. Like, what? There's got to be more to it than that, because that was bizarre. Maybe, but I don't know. Like, because the whole thing with Vaughn was that he was like, "I don't want you to come with us." And then some random kid is just like, "Let me go with you." Why? No, you. Okay. What? Also, I'm sure they'll probably explain it, but how are there mines in an air city? Seems like the last thing that would be in an air city. What are they mining? Also, I just cut in line. I'm a jerk. Crypto. Ooh, a mage masher. That's right, I already have one. I can't double equip, can I? I don't even know. How this game works. No. They're filtering the air underneath for bugs and leaves. Yeah, and then on top of that, he's like, my name is Lamont. And they're like, okay. Sounds right. They're mining clouds. They're making cotton candy out of clouds. Welcome to Mate's Magics. Mobilize. I feel like disable would be good. Or blind, or poison. Or dark. Why not? Black magic. There's disable. I gotta find poison. Which should be here somewhere. Not. Wasn't it green magic? How do I even... I don't know why, but inventory being down here is so weird. I keep looking up here, and I'm like, where are my items? They're all the way down here. Shouldn't they be, like, next to equip? Isn't that strange? Like it's below world map. Yeah, poison is green magic. Oh wait, I already have a license for it. I'm dumb. I was gonna say, it shouldn't be that far. Yeah, there it is. With shell, because that makes sense. So, I need to play both games back to back to truly have an opinion on both license boards, but I gotta say, like, I remember from the first 2 hours of Zodiac Age, doing the license board was so much more interesting because of all the static buffs you got. Here, it's like, I don't feel like doing it, because I don't know what... Like, until I actually have something I wanna get... I just kind of sit here with a bunch of license points because I'm like, what's the point? Like, I kind of want to wait till I get a weapon and then I'll, like, other than the extra gambit slots, which, like, okay. Maybe I should look to see if there's any good techniques. Capture HP critical foes to obtain loot. Again, I still have to buy these though, so... This seems insane for this game because you do so much frickin' walking. Potions restore more HP. That would be nice to have, I guess. So maybe I should explore this area more. With everyone. This has more of the static stuff you might actually want to use. Yeah, I noticed that last week too. There's a step count. I've taken 39,000 steps. No way. How have I taken that many steps? That seems insane. For only like 8 hours? All you do in this game is walk. I am a Paragenia. Or Perry. Perry. I'm here to assist. If you make for the Luzu Mines, go down this hill and through Miner's End. There are many Paragenias guides to help you find your way. Good journey to you. Thanks. Gonna break your Fitbit. Well, I'm out of money now, so it's probably a lost cause. Deal damage based on a factor of time. What? Keep the game on for 5 days and then one-shot everything? What's the thought process behind making an ability like that for a video game? Like, why did they think that would be a fun ability? Like, just from like a gameplay perspective. Just find it kind of weird. It's Monday. All enemies get really tired. I have 38 potions. Jeez. Like, I just kind of imagine being in a video game design room and being like, guys, I have an idea for an ability. The longer you keep the game on, the more damage it does. I feel like everyone in the room should be like, that's a stupid idea. Don't do that. I just wonder how something like that... Like, what did they think would be the fun part of that?
The Lusu Mines, one of the richest veins in Ivalice.
Under Imperial Guard, no doubt.
Actually, no. With but few exceptions, the Imperial Army is not permitted within Bujerba. Well, shall we proceed?
Those two lines of dialogue went together really nicely. They're not allowed in Bujerba, so we go. Boy, it's mine time. I always remember this dungeon. I think it's pretty memorable. It's just kind of the first, like, full party dungeon, maybe? I don't know. Something about it. I just always remember it.
You will forgive me for asking, but you are diverting the purest of the Magicite.
I can assure you it reaches Lord Vane most discreetly.
Ha! You wear your saddle well.
Be that as it may, I have no intention of being bridled, Your Honor.
He sounds like the...
Then you prefer the whip? Stubbornness will see not only you broken, Excellency, but Bougerbe as well.
He sounds like the narrator. How'd you get over there?
Halim Ondor IV, the Marquis of Bougerbe. The Marquis served as mediator at the negotiations of Damascus' surrender. It would appear that he is somewhat less neutral now.
They say he's been helping the resistance.
They say many things.
You're certainly well informed. Who did you say you were again?
What difference does it make? We have to find Penelo.
And Penelo is your...
She's a friend. She was kidnapped and taken here.
Penelo's the name of my blankie. I have to get my blankie back. Balthair, why are you questioning him on who he is now? Why didn't you question him before you just randomly decided to bring him? I don't understand. Maybe he is the narrator. What do you have? Like a musketeer sword. What is that thing? I can't even see his equipment. What the garbage? He doesn't even use it. It's just there for posterity. Maybe he uses it to cast spells. It's pretty strong. Don't be rude to your guest. He's not my guest. I don't want him here. I blame Balthair for whatever happens. I know, in Final Fantasy VII you can at least look at Sephiroth's equipment. Final Fantasy VII better confirmed.